Hey guys, today we're going to be drawing a realistic water drop. I'm using the iPad Pro with the Procreate app. Now you don't need this to follow along. You can use a white sheet of paper, a black marker for outlines, and markers and crayons for coloring in. I occasionally may use a pencil to sketch first, so it's always handy to have that as well as an eraser. If you're new to Procreate, I also have a video called 25 Procreate Tips and Tricks, which is good to watch first because as I draw, I'll be using these actions. I will link that video below. So here I have a transparent post-it note and an actual real live water drop. So I'm going to try to mimic this as best as I can. However, just note that my angle that I'm drawing at is different from the angle that my camera's at. So let's start off with our first layer. I'm going to grab a light shade of gray. Then I'm just going to do a square. I don't let go of the Apple Pencil and just tap anywhere on the screen. It becomes a perfect square. Just going to close that off. And then let's rotate that. All right, let's create a new layer and we're going to grab a slightly darker shade of gray. And this time I'm going to make my water drop bigger than that. And I'm not going to make it a perfect circle, but I'm also not going to let go of my Apple Pencil because water drops are different shapes. So let's close that off. So next, let's determine our light source. According to this realistic water drop, the light source is over here on the left and the shadows are on the right. So let's do the same thing. I'm going to enable alpha lock on the circle layer. So click on the layer, hit alpha lock, and what this does is it allows you to color within the circle and not outside of it. So let's grab a white and I'm going to grab my airbrush and then we're going to lightly shade the left part. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the pencil. And then we can take the blending brush so let's grab a darker shade of gray. And if you note on the actual water drop, the shadow kind of makes, I guess, a backwards C. So that's what we're going to try to do as well. And then we can blend that. And although you can't really see it on the actual water drop, we're going to create a shadow underneath all of this. So let's duplicate this layer. Then just click on the arrow tool. We're going to flip horizontal and flip vertical so that it becomes a mirror image. And then we're going to drag that underneath the water drop layer. And then we're just going to tap it. And then we can also make this a tad bit darker. All right, next we're gonna blur it, but before we do that, we gotta take off the alpha lock. So let's go over here in the adjustments tool, go to blur, and I'm gonna do up to 3%. And then we can still go and do any touch-ups if we want, if you're not happy with the shadows. So the trick to making it look realistic is if you notice that the highlights are in the shape of a C and the shadows are in the shape of a backward C. And then last, we're gonna put some highlights. So let's grab a white and your round brush, and then this just makes it pop. And I know this is not in the actual water drop, but we can improvise. So there you go, guys. There is your realistic water drop. To get notified of more new videos where I teach you to draw, be sure to subscribe to Draw with Marina.